Hi, welcome back to the breadboard. Just a quick update on the Windows 10 for IoT for the Raspberry Pi, especially the Raspberry Pi 3. There is now a new insider preview as of 15th of May 2016. It may have come out a few days ago. I've just noticed that there was there. It doesn't come down with the automatic downloads or anything yet, but what I've seen is it is now supporting the Raspberry Pi 3 built-in Wi-Fi. So I'm just going to download it now and give it a go. So first things first, navigate to developer.microsoft.com/enus/windows/IoT and then click on Downloads. And what you'll see on this screen is a link. If you're not part of the Insider Preview, you need to be, and you need to be signed in. Windows 10 IoT Core Insider Preview. Click that, go in, select the edition that you want, and you can see here now that 14.3.28 is now available. The latest one that's coming down automatically, even if you do an update, is 14.3.22. So click there and click on Confirm. Then make sure you pick the Raspberry Pi, confirm that, and click on Download Now. So give that a few minutes to come down, and I will resume the video once it's downloaded. Actually, while we're waiting for that to download, we can go and have a look at the release notes just to confirm for you. So just go back a page and go down to release notes. What's new in 14.3.28 is updates to bug fixes. Onboard Wi-Fi device drivers are now enabled on the Raspberry Pi 3, which is the thing we've been waiting for ages for. Everything else is pretty much status quo from what I've been able to see, and you can have a look at these release notes yourself. I'm not too worried about those. What I want to do is see if and how well the Wi-Fi adapter is being supported. Oh, it also is now supporting the remote takeover. A lot of people have reported issues trying to use the remote desktop to the Raspberry Pi 3 when you've got the 7-inch LCD connected and things like that. And there were some certain tweaks to, you can run it in headless mode where you just tweaked a few of the parameters and things, and that got around that issue. But there were certain instances where even though you could remote takeover and you would see on the Raspberry Pi itself that the mouse was moving and things like that, so effectively it was a remote keyboard and mouse, the screen was not being replicated to the client doing the remote taking over. So that was a little bit of an issue, and apparently that is supposed to be fixed in this release as well. Okay, so that has now downloaded. Now obviously with Windows 10 on your desktop, you can open this directly in that as well. Okay, that's opened up. As you can see, there's an MSI file, so we're just going to run that. This is all the same as before when you download the image from Microsoft. Of course, we accept the agreement. Hit the install, wait for it to do its thing, and finish. These are my devices that I had before. Let me just get rid of that screen out of the way. And as you can see, I had an Industrial Shield Raspberry Pi and an Official Pi 2. The Official Pi 2 is the one that has the LCD 7-inch screen on. The Industrial Shield Pi has a 10-inch HDMI connected LCD touch panel. The one I'm going to do the upgrade on is the Official Pi 2, and as you can see, both of them are at 14.3.22 right now, and they both have the issue when you try to RDP to them that they will not work properly. So if I pick up my remote desktop client for Windows 10 IoT and I try, and hopefully I'll see one of them. Yep, so here's the Pi 2, and if I try and remote desktop to that, I guess maybe part of this has updated into the Pi 2, because that is actually working properly even with the LCD screen. So that's nice to see, including the scrolling. You can see that it's not seeing anything. So there's partial good news even with the current build, if you don't download, that you've got the remote desktop working on 14.3.22.1000. So now let's do the upgrade and see if we can get that fixed. We'll pick that device, browse for the FFU, which is in the Raspberry Pi 2 folder. So this is the latest one. It's actually dated toward the end of April, but anyway, it didn't come out until May. And we'll open that and we'll flash it to the micro SD card. I'm using my 32 gigabyte Samsung Pro card for this particular test. So we'll say continue and let that go in. Should only take a few seconds or so because it's a very fast card. I'm not going to bother putting my webcam onto the 7-inch LCD display right now because you've seen it all before, and the boot up process is going to be pretty much exactly the same. So I'm just going to wait for it to boot up, and then we'll just connect directly again using the remote takeover software. So there's the SD card done. We will eject that now, and I'll pull that out and plug it in. Okay, so I've just finished making a new image. I just realized that I was talking about testing the built-in Wi-Fi adapter on the Raspberry Pi 2, and of course it's not. It's in the Raspberry Pi 3. The Raspberry Pi 3 with the built-in Wi-Fi adapter, one of the things, because I have my Raspberry Pi 3 connected to an HDMI-based LCD screen, I need to just take a minor modification to the config.txt to make the LCD work properly. So what I've got to do is just change the video mode. It's HDMI group 1 is I think the only thing I have to change here, and just save that, and that should now boot up properly on my Raspberry Pi 3 with the HDMI based LCD touchscreen. So let me just boot that up and I'll come right back to you. Now that the Windows 10 IoT is booted up, I found that it didn't immediately detect the network devices, so I had to restart the Raspberry Pi with Windows 10 IoT locally on the LCD. When it came back up again, it was actually now detecting my networks, which means that the remote device configuration should now be detected. And as you can see on the screen here, it is actually now showing up. It wasn't before. It was just completely not seeing the networks on my Pi. So anyway, after the reboot, it now is, so I should be able to run through this and actually configure it. I actually don't have anything else connected except for the built-in Wi-Fi on this device. So let's see if we can get it to go. So it's not giving me a list of access points on here, but looking on my Raspberry Pi itself, it actually is. If I just take a picture of that, I will show you. So I've tried a couple of different ways to try and get the Wi-Fi to connect through this auto configuration routine. It's not going to work. So what I'm going to do is simply go to the front panel. I've included a picture just to show you that it is detecting my network. So I'm just going to type in the credentials right on the front panel. So I just entered the credentials directly onto the Raspberry Pi 3, partly with touch, but I needed a keyboard to actually put in the password for my Oaks-Klein Home Wi-Fi network. Now that that's done, as you can see here, the device is now shown up with its IP address. I still don't have anything connected to it except for the local Wi-Fi, which is built into the Raspberry Pi, and as you can see, it's all apparently working there. So whilst it's not perfect in as I don't know how you pronounce this thing, but the AJ Soft, that's basically the soft API that allows you to configure this thing remotely, is not working fully at the moment, or doesn't appear to be. The device is now set up, so I should be able to remote connect to it. If I put in administrator, so I've just gone in there, I won't bother changing the password yet. Set the local time zone. And if you look at devices now, the Raspberry Pi Wi-Fi actually shows up under the USB devices, the Arasan SD controller, and there is a Broadcom wireless adapter. Now that showed up before. I just couldn't get the remote configuration to work, so that hasn't changed anything, but it's just showing you that it's detected there. Now if I look in networking now, you'll see that the Wi-Fi is indeed working on that Broadcom SDIO adapter now that I'm not sure why it didn't show up immediately, but once you've configured the Wi-Fi on the local Pi using just a keyboard to put in your SID, once you've selected it and put it all in, you can then disconnect all that, and now the device should be available remotely. So what I'm looking at here is obviously wirelessly connecting to it, and we're looking at the networks that it can currently see. And as you can see here, it is only connected via the Wi-Fi. That's my local address here. All these other ones, you can see they don't have any IP addresses or anything. The Bluetooth is still not working properly, unfortunately, but that hopefully will be available soon. So the trick now is to see if the remote takeover to this Windows 3 is going to work. So let's just get out of this remote. Yes, I haven't enabled it. That would help. So just enable that, say OK. Let's minimize that again. And try that again. Oh, there we go. There's my Raspberry Pi 3, and it is now showing up properly and is now connected via Wi-Fi, local Wi-Fi built onto the Pi 3. So that's excellent. Anyway, that's all I wanted to show you. Just give you that update, let you know that the latest Insider Preview now fully support, well, not fully supports, but now does support the Wi-Fi. Caveat being you have to configure it locally on the Pi, which would mean you either use a hardwired connection or you use a keyboard connected to the Pi. But once it's done, it will automatically connect to your network, and away you go. You can do everything now remotely via Wi-Fi. So that's good news. Let's hope Microsoft brings out the Bluetooth and allows you to get the remote configuration up and running as well with a upcoming release. So hopefully we won't have to wait too long for that. Anyway, that's everything. So good news all around as far as the Wi-Fi being up and running. A few caveats to get it going, but there we go. See you next time.